this is a milestone episode. This is 185.
Okay.
We're doing
15 to go.
15 to go. We're definitely not going to get it done by the end of the year, but we are closing in on it.
That gap is just...
Unless we do a couple short episodes, you know.
Okay, I'll do like 10 2-minute episodes.
Yeah, we should do that just to, troll.
Bump up the numbers.
That'd be good. That would be good.
Or you break up one show into 15 episodes. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
That is a thought. I like it. I like it. December 13th, 2018. Yesterday was Tom Brady Day. 12/12.
What is that? I never even heard of that.
Oh. So, happy belated Tom Brady Day to you and to all our listeners. America's team.
I wonder if that's actually celebrated anywhere.
Oh, of course it is. It's America's team.
I mean, what is their record though? 9-5.
Well, we're 9-4. We had a little mishap on Sunday. That That
was 4 losses or 5?
4. That was 4.
Okay.
Little breakdown on the defense at the end of the game. That caused us to lose that game, but we'll get that straightened out.
I know. Spencer saw that play while we were at the race.
Oh boy! That's right.
I think it ruined his A3s. He had to run A3 after that. He was so mad.
Oh, bummer. Yeah, I could imagine that probably didn't go well for him, huh?
He actually did pretty well, but still, yeah, he was upset.
So, INS finale, huh?
Yeah, Indoor National Series final.
INS 8. Yeah, you know what? I'm wearing the INS 7 shirt right now. Where's my 8 shirt at?
I don't know. That could be in the mail.
Okay. I'll wait for it. Maybe Christmas time.
Yeah, it'll probably come in during holidays.
So it went out. So the INS 8 was a huge success. Big bang.
Well, it was kind of multi-part for Paul and Spencer because they were there doing the fall brawl in Myrtle Beach. So they were there quite a while, and then Thomas and I came in for the INS race, and lot of big time racers we had, but of course we got a class for everybody. Stock, mod, independent, truck, short course, 4-wheel. We got it all. So yeah, I mean, I think it went pretty well. We had Spencer actually TQ'd both classes, so he was there the week before running that 1/8 scale race. He TQ'd Nitro there. That rained out, so he ended up winning on the TQ because of the rain out. We just did an inside look on his 8 scale buggy today. We posted that.
Ooh, Kirby likes those.
Yeah, he'll dig into that thing, check it out. And got that done. So, and then Spencer TQ both classes at the INS, and he won 4-wheel and got second 2-wheel. Ty came up through the field and ended up winning in A3. He won, got the overall in the 2-wheel class. So
we're blaming that on the Patriots Dolphins game.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, it's like everything was looking good. Patriots blew that coverage. Spencer went out for A3 and then just didn't have as good of a run.
Damn.
Yeah, good track. It's the first time I've ever been to Beach RC. Definitely one of the top indoor facilities on the East Coast, if not the best.
Wow, that was your first time there? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we had a good time, did well. The thing that's kind of interesting there is since it's kind of the down season, is you can get like a really nice hotel. I mean, the hotel is right on the beach basically, and it's like, I don't know, it's like $60 a night or $70 a night or something.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's stuff that's usually probably a couple $100 a night during the off season. It's kind of like when we went to Wildwood, New Jersey a couple of years ago, but it was nicer than that though. So, I mean, it's easy for people to attend that event, especially with that, the hotel rates. We had a good turnout, not a max turnout. It was good, but not maxed. Obviously several factors kind of leading into not quite as good of a turnout, but the competition was good, and I think everyone still really was happy they attended, and they'll be there for the next one. It was a brand new track when we got there. The pipe looked brand new. The layout was brand new. Nobody had been on it. They start practicing, and it's a little looser to begin with, and you build traction. And Mayfield kind of jumped out to a real comfortable pace in practice. He was the fastest guy, and then as the traction started to pick up, and you had to kind of start using tires with less and less tread, Spencer, that was a little more of a comfort range for Spencer. He started really taking hold of the conditions then, and Cavallari was doing extremely well in those conditions. Mayfield still qualified second two-wheel. I think he qualified third or fourth in four-wheel. But in practice, he was a lot faster than everybody when he was on treaded tires. And then when they went to slick tires, he didn't quite have the advantage anymore. It was a lot more even. And then Ty got fast right at the end. At the beginning, he wasn't very fast. When we were on the treaded tires, Ty wasn't quite as quick. And he was actually in the B resort in two-wheel drive. When they resorted, he was in the B qualifier. And didn't have a very good round one, but then 2 and 3, he really got it going. Qualified, I think, 5th or 6th in two-wheel, and I think it was 5th. And then since the track is pretty tight, there was a real tight section. I don't know what to call it on the podcast, but I know what the guys were calling it at the track. But
they were calling it the Ripcast. I don't know, the Ripcast. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, they're calling it the titty section.
Well, that'd be perfect for the Ripcast. The Ripcast titty section.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah,
and
the Ripcast titty section.
It got tight in there, and because there was basically two. All
right. Let's take a deep breath here and gather ourselves. Okay.
So, it was basically, it was like a chicane.
Right.
And on the points of every turn, there was these big mounds. And on those big mounds, you could jump the first one over the second one,
right.
And then there was a tight turn. So, I mean, guys were just crushing that section in practice, and then in the qualifier, all of a sudden the racing starts, and guys are hitting the pipes everywhere and flying all over the place, and because it was just so narrow. And when you're going for the fast line, which the fast guy, everybody was trying, it was a little narrow in there, and you jump, and sometimes he'd land on the pipe or just, I mean, guys are crushing that thing in the first round. Just, you'd think one guy's on a good run, all of a sudden, crash, or just hit that section and flipping. And so that was really kind of a make or break section early, and then got through qualifying, and owner of the track, Brent, asked me, he's like, hey, do you think we should kind of move the pipe back just a little for the main so the guys have a little more room in there? And I was like, yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. So he moved the pipe about 6 inches back and allowed a little more room. It didn't change any of the driving lines, but it just made it so. And I mean, there was still people just crushing that section in the mains, even with the extra space.
Wow.
And just some people were good through there, and some people just were not.
Just couldn't do it.
No, they were trying, but they were making a lot of noise too. That's how it is. But actually, it made it interesting. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, as the track got faster and faster, guys were going more and more to the slick tires. And by the end, Ty was going really good. He has a setup that he likes to go to when he runs slicks and, tire sauce and car setup or something. And it seems like that's their preferred setup. And when they can go to that, they're pretty tough to handle. Our guys are really, really good.
Oh no.
That was Jazzy. She
going nuts.
Allison was acting like she was going to leave, and Jazzy didn't like it. So Ty got rocking and rolling really good. He never did get good finishes in the four-wheel mains. He kind of got beat around a little bit. He made a couple mistakes. Spencer Cavallari and Dustin Evans won the three mains there. So Cav won the first one, Spencer the second, and Dustin won the third. Mayfield got second, and I don't know, both the first two mains or the third one. And then in the two-wheel, Cavallari won the first main, Spencer the second, and then the third main is where Ty ended up winning. And then he won the tie break over Spencer. They were tied for the win, and Ty got the tie break. So, overall a good race, good representatives on hand from Associated, Yokomo, X-Ray. Didn't have any TLR reps there. We had a couple good TLR drivers.
Really? No reps, huh?
No, they didn't make it this year, but they had a couple good TLR drivers there doing well. And
what about my favorite team, X-Ray?
Well, that was Ty. He was.
That's
there.
Right.
I thought you're a Schumacher. Come on, you're
right.
jumping on. You're kind of jumping.
I'm on Schumacher and X-Ray.
Silly season's kicking in already for you.
It is. Yeah. So TLR. So the 5.0s were out there.
There was no 5.0s at this race.
Oh.
As far as I know, because I think only. I want to say maybe like 5-6 guys have them.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
But
here, I thought that kit launched.
Well, it did. It's just not able to be. Just everyone doesn't have one yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm trying to think of some other. What was interesting is, Yokomo's never had a stadium truck in the past, but. This race, they probably had more stadium trucks running. Well, I wouldn't say more by the numbers, but the guys that were running them were very high up in the field. Like Max Fleur won mod truck.
Oh, yeah, he's a RIP driver.
And then Chad Eubanks won 13.5.
Oh,
truck.
our buddy Chad. That's another RIP driver for you. For those of you counting at home. That's two. Go ahead.
That's two. And then AJ Marasco actually won Expert 17.5 buggy and 13.5 four-wheel. You can go ahead and call him a RIP guy, too.
We sure can, because he's always participating in the RIP post, so.
Yep.
There we go. That's 3. Wow, so Yokomo has had their stadium truck drivers, guys driving stadium truck there, huh?
Yeah, and then Pat Rossiter was doing really good in the 13.5 stadium truck also, and he was running the Yokomo. Joe Pillars, he ran his, and yeah, they were running good in stadium truck, which was kind of cool in a sense because they never had one before, and now they're guys are on the team or guys buying them, like Pat Rossiter, and doing really well with it. So that's nice to see. Maybe it'll encourage some other guys, to kind of get with it.
So this is the first stadium truck by Yokomo?
The first one they've ever had, yeah.
That's amazing. If you think about it, that is amazing, right?
It is. I think probably what's most amazing in a sense is they never made a two-wheel buggy or a stadium truck when it could have been the biggest.
That's weird.
So it took them a long time to make any of these other vehicles.
So what's is it because Mayfield's on the team now? Is it they're kicking in the high gear here? What's going on?
Well, I think as part of Ryan being on the team and them putting together a little more effort into their USA program, and I think just a little more of a commitment, I'd say.
Yeah, because over there they don't even care about stadium truck, right?
Yeah, it's very minimal. It's all about two-wheel and four-wheel, kind of always has been, but
yeah,
I think they see it as something that they could get done. They could experiment a little bit with it. Bring a few details to the truck that they hadn't had on the buggy, and then when they go to do the next buggy variation, they can include those in there too.
Okay.
So, Joe Pillars actually ran Mayfield's stadium truck. He just, changed the body, changed the motor, but so Mayfield's going to run it at the beginning of the year. CRC, he's going to run some stadium truck, and
that's cool.
Should be actually pretty fun because he was a really good stadium truck driver. Actually, any truck. He's always been a really good truck driver. So see what he can do at CRC this year. And usually if Dakota races, he's really tough to beat in stadium truck for some reason. I'd say his winning percentage in truck is probably, one of the highest out there. So, yeah, we'll get Mayfield, Cavallari. I think there'll be some more guys running truck next year, so it should be cool.
Yeah, that's good to see. I love stadium truck. So.
Yeah, it was always a favorite of mine when I started. It was my favorite class then. And we've talked about it a couple times, and hasn't really been the same the last maybe 10 years because of the track conditions and different things, but we'll see. Hopefully we get her. Hopefully, next year things are kind of popping.
So you got some. Did you do a chassis focus on this Yokomo Mayfield's stadium truck? No.
We just did one on Spencer's 8-scale because he kind of left all of his stuff with us after the race, and we didn't have the stadium truck. But probably after CRC we might be able to.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you did.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, so exciting stuff from Yokomo. Can't wait for the stadium truck. That should be pretty cool. Where's the photos at of that stadium truck? Are they out there? Did Red RC do something, or what's the groups out there?
No, I mean the truck is out. It's been out.
I could buy it right now.
Yeah, you can buy it right now.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's ready.
You gotta keep me updated on this stuff, Jason. You didn't tell me about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Now, is this a is it just straight up Yokomo Stadium, or is it like a Ryan Mayfield edition or anything?
No, it's no special editions right now. Just the first one that they got out. It's a nice truck. Visually, it's a nice truck. Seems to be working pretty well.
So J Concepts has stuff coming out for it?
Actually, we have the body that comes with it is already ours. Comes with the kit.
Oh, that's cool. So they worked with you on that and got the body in there.
That's right. Yep, that's right. So
nice.
That's probably all we'll do right now. Just see how the truck does and how it builds. I mean, obviously it's performing well, but.
Well, that's cool. The J Concepts body's in there, so you got a good body right off the bat.
That's right. Got that.
So a lot of these kits today are like that now, where these kits are coming with a J Concepts body or a Pro Line type body. You just don't throw away the stock body anymore.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. I mean, the kits are either coming with a little more refined stuff, or just a direct one from one of the factories, one of the accessory companies.
So the stadium truck. So also this was in Vegas too, right?
That's right.
That's cool. So Vegas. And then we have Blake, who's going to be on the show first, right?
That's right.
Now he was out in Vegas. Now how did he do out there?
He won truck. They raced for Associated, Reedy and J Concepts, but Blake won truck, and he got second in 4-wheel, and I think he got second in 2-wheel.
God damn. Killing it.
Yeah, he was a beast.
Jeez.
So yeah, the quick question I was going to get to before we get him on was John Bolton. With the abundance of TV channels and networks searching for content to show the public, how much longer do you feel it will be before we see RC racing on TV? Supercross found its way to TV by self-funding its broadcasts with support from the industry. Now it's wanted programming. I also think the lack of a national series holds it back. I do think it can happen. After all, they did broadcast the national rock, paper, scissors series on ESPN at one point.
Oh my God, did they really? I didn't see that.
Apparently they did. Apparently
That's crazy.
They did. I've never seen it.
Wow. So what do you think?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I think that we're a long ways away from being on ESPN, personally. There has to be more. There has to be more in it for ESPN and the rest. I know Live RC has tried quite a bit. He got pretty close with one of the stations. I can't remember if it was Fuel TV or Mav TV. One of the two, Live RC got pretty close to working with on RC, but it's tough because what's unique about RC in a sense is you can participate in RC. You don't have to be a spectator. Like there's so many different classes and vehicles available that you can be a participant. You don't have to be a spectator. So, sure, it's cool to watch or cool to watch on TV, but is it really cool to watch if you don't have any appreciation for what's going on? And I guess you could say that when I was a kid and I saw Punky Brewster episode, that was really awesome. I thought it was cool. And, I think that episode got a lot of people into RC. So maybe that's, it's definitely something we need to try to do, but it just hasn't happened. I think it's not for the lack of trying, but it just hasn't been presented correctly, or it's not entertaining enough in its present condition. There's people that think it is there's people that think that it is an event that's spectator worthy and broadcast worthy, and then there's people that don't. There's some people that just say, I couldn't watch that on TV. Like, they want to do it because they're like, I can actually just do it. Like, I don't need to watch it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sure, there is a ton of TV stations, but the fact that they haven't, I guess, reached out and done anything with RC, that can't be very good either. I'm sure they're looking for content, and it just hasn't been presented to them in an appealing way yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, the thing is, like, if I show somebody that has no clue about RC and I pull up YouTube and say, hey, watch this race, the 2018 Roar Nationals or something, and they watch it, and they are amazed, though. They're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I've done that here. I showed people. I'm like, hey, this is what it's about. And they look at it and they're like, holy shit, that's crazy. Like, they have no idea. People still think, when they hear RC cars, they think, the cars you get at Walmart and, Kmart or wherever.
Yeah.
The people that have no idea about RC. And when you show them the video, they're blown away. And they want to know more about it. They're like, hey, link me to other videos and stuff like that. They want to watch it. So I think there is something there, but I'm not sure how long it would hold. Yeah, I just don't know how you would present it. I guess you would have to present it to a TV.
You'd have to produce a pilot.
That's something like Live RC. You can do that. The qualifying would be god awful boring.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where you'd have to skip. There would just be like a little highlights and
right, and show the names.
You'd have to, and I think JQ and there's this RCGP starting up this year that is going to attempt to do some of these things, create some drama between the teams, create some interesting storylines.
This is what I've been calling for in a podcast for years.
Yeah, I mean you're looking
a little drama, a little storyline, a little background on these drivers to get to know them. I mean, you certainly can't just put it on TV. You have to know who Ryan Mayfield is, who Ryan Cavalieri is. You got to know these guys.
So I think that there is they're treading that direction, trying to get there, but we haven't got there yet, and I don't know if we will.
I mean, RC was never on TV at one time. Like, did we ever get on ESPN or anything?
Not in that kind of capacity. I think we've been on some. We had clips here and there. We've done a few things where they've referenced different race events on. I think it's called Speed. Was it Speed World or one of the shows Dave Despain was the host of?
Oh yeah. There's
been several things where they've made it. RC's made it as a snippet of information, but I don't think it's ever been a big, like a 30-minute show or something like that.
Yeah, and that's what it would have to be, just a 30-minute. The attention span is not there for like watching an hour-long 8-scale main. I don't think you'd have to edit that baby down, make it dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it happen. We've all talked about it. We've had manufacturers discussions, but it's nice to dream big, I think. But at the same time, there's also there's some baby steps that we have to take in between to start getting closer. And I think a lot of people are want to say like, oh yeah, we can go straight from here to being on ESPN, and it's like, well, we're not even on the local TV or local news, or you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
It's like going from one.
I don't know how it would work. I really don't. I mean, it's got its reputation as being toy cars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it would ever be taken seriously by some of the audience.
Well,
I don't know. I guess it all depends how you present it and how you do the show. But
yeah, I agree. I think there is some stories and cool things to follow, but I think that you might have to put it together. You might have to script it a little bit more than what you would think that you would want to. You can't just, the racing would be real, of course, but you'd have to have a little bit of, argument. You'd have to have a little bit of rivalry. You'd have to put a little bit of that into it, just so people could kind of grab hold of something to kind of look forward to, next time down the road.
Man, I just think it's really tough. It's really tough. I don't know. I think our only hope is, and when we had Brandon on the show, was like having a Roku app, a Live RC Roku app. You just click on that and you can watch, and you can click on any race that you want to and so forth. I think that's the only, I think that's what we're looking at, really.
I think initially Live RC was supposed to be that avenue for us to start heading that direction. Like, it was, and I think there was some momentum building there for quite a while. And it feels like it didn't really go anywhere. And I'm not sure 100% everything behind it, but it just kind of feels like it hadn't really gone anywhere. I think it seemed like we were heading down a road to maybe get to that point. We had some highs and some hopes that, were kind of out there, and never materialized. And I think people kind of put some, I don't know what the right word is, kind of put their heart and soul on the line for a few things. They, kind of got their hopes up also. People got their hopes up, and nothing's really happened.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. Personally, I think that we should be able to make it, as he hinted at, with all the different programming and people searching for valuable content. But there's some things some ways we're gonna have to go before we get it to happen. We're not gonna go from where we are to ESPN very easily.
And you know what? Everybody's cutting cable anyway these days, so you want to try a different avenue. Like I said, Roku, streaming apps, so forth, stuff like that.
Yeah, that could be another.
How awesome. If I could get on to Roku, Smart TV, whatever, go over to a Live RC app, click on that. Here, again, me and my apps, right, Jason? Jason knows I'm bugging Jason about a J Concepts app.
Yeah, and I agree. It's just
Click on the Live RC app and click on any race I want to go to watch it. You know, archives, stuff like that. Boom. All right. So coming up on the show here, Broc Champlin. And you said he did what out in Vegas now? He won.
He won mod truck.
Mod truck.
And he got second. He got second in 2-wheel and 4-wheel mod at the IOCC.
All right. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, Broc Champlin. Hey, Blake.
What's up?
Gotti Jr. here with Jason Ruona. Jason, you still here?
Yep, I'm here. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you guys doing?
All right, man. Appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys letting me come on and chat with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think people have, a lot of questions in terms of just in general of, how to get better at racing and working your way up to be better. I think you guys, have worked hard to get better at RC and work your way up the ladder. So I think that's probably the best place to start.
Yeah, because how old's Blake
Yeah.
now? How old are you, Blake?
19.
Oh, 19. All right. So when did you start racing?
I don't know. I was probably 11.
Oh, wow.
11 or 12.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's about time I started around that age, but I never got good enough to. By the time I was 19, Jason, I was burnt out and chasing chicks around.
You're still doing that.
Right? That happens.
But yeah, cool. So you started when you were 11. That's crazy. So what was your first car?
I had a Traxxas 4x4 Slash. We mobbed those around at 702 RC Raceway. And yeah, kind of just progressed from there.
So when you started running there at 702, that was when they still had like the real like white dirt that was really wet.
Yeah, it was almost like driving on like sheetrock almost. The dirt was the dirt was off and on traction, pretty spotty, but it was fun.
Yeah,
of course now they've switched to carpet.
Yeah. Yeah, what I remember about racing there on the dirt is it was like when they watered it, it was nice because the cars worked well or better, but then you just had that white dirt stuck to everything on your car.
Oh, yeah, I got everywhere, for sure.
It's like the bottom of the chassis and the arms are just all had that white dirt all over them.
Yeah, even like when the track got dry, a lot of it kicked up into the air. And so, like, it, like, covered all the pits and everything. It was kind of fun. But
oh, yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty messy.
So Slash 4x4, did you guys have matching trucks, or how'd that go?
Yeah, I think they were matching. think the only thing we upgraded on those things were we got progressive springs for them. That's
Okay.
about it. I remember always breaking like the center drive shafts. That was fun. Yeah.
So what made you kind of move into the next level vehicle, and what was the next one you had?
A lot of the guys at the track ran Associated at the time, so all the fast guys like Steve Anthill and Damon Barron. So we just stepped into those vehicles and kind of just always drove Associated since then.
And so
Yeah.
at that point, was it a B4 then at that point, or probably a B4?
Yeah. I don't think the .1 was out yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did it immediately seem kind of weird to have a buggy compared to a short course, or how'd they perform?
Well, I mean, we stepped in the SE10s first and then the buggies, but definitely the switch to buggy was a challenge, but it was fun.
You're like, where's my bashing truck at? I was tearing it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then from the standpoint of the B4, then did you get into 4-wheel drive, or what was the next move after that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get into 4-wheel drive till, I don't know, much later. Probably only like 4 years ago, but
Okay.
4 or 5? Yeah. But we mainly just drove short course and 2-wheel drive buggy. That was our stuff.
Gotta have the short course, huh?
Yeah, gotta have the short course.
That was big, in those days. When you started, that was probably the peak of short course, and I know it was really big. It was really big at 702, and that was a big time gateway class. Obviously, you guys got into it because of that, and the short course trucks is kind of something we're missing right now. Just they still sell them, but they're haven't been near as popular as they used to be.
Yeah, the competition in the class has kind of gotten lower. The top guys have stepped out. So, I mean, it's a fun class, but...
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about the next progression, as you got a little bit older and got a little more serious. Did you start traveling around, or what was that kind of like, getting a little more serious and a little bit older?
Yeah, I mean, we always attended the stock Nats a couple times at OCRC.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been hitting Surf City for a while too. So those were our big races when we started taking it serious. And then, I mean, that's what we started doing. Started traveling a little bit, going to California, that kind of thing.
Do you remember anything any experiences you had when you started going to California that was like a big deal or kind of shocking, or do you have any old stories?
Yeah, I actually won 17.5 two-wheel drive short course at Surf City in 2013. So that was pretty big. That was a big deal to me at the time.
And so what were you like, 14, 13 or something?
Yeah. Well, let's see, 2000, yeah, so it was 13, 14.
So it was probably like you're traveling outside of town, you're like, I got this stuff figured out, right?
Yeah. I mean, we had been doing stock for a while, and then that was kind of the peaking point of, okay, maybe we should go to mods. So.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I don't know that it's unique, but a little unique is kind of your whole family's a little involved in the whole racing between your dad, your mom, Your sister comes out to the races.
Yeah.
What's your, as far as just touching a little bit, your dad's kind of from a racing background, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he raced jet skis for, I don't know, probably a decade. And then he raced motocross for almost a decade, and now he's going on RC cars. So
does he say RC cars have been a little bit easier on his physical condition?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he hurt his knee pretty bad, but at the race he hurt his knee at, he actually saw the Traxxas rig.
Oh,
That's
okay.
part of why we got into it.
Traxxas out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I think they were in Mesquite, Nevada. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
That's interesting.
Traxxas goes out there to see the rig, get somebody in the RC.
Oh yeah. I guess it works.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a, we were just talking, getting more people involved in RC, and we always talk about that, just about, it's a daily, weekly conversation anywhere you go, but obviously that worked in that situation, as Traxxas obviously has spent a lot of money, to be out there and to have that rig out there, but, I guess it is making a difference around these different sports where people are motorheads, or whatever you want to say, people are involved in racing, and it kind of, the one plays off of another. Do you think that's probably true?
Yeah, I mean, that should be one of the things we should try to do is, tap into the other motorsports and just get our footprint in there. So I think that would help grow the sport a little bit, people with common interest.
So, as you kind of went through the Surf City, Stocknet stuff, what was kind of that next step as you kind of got out of 17.5 short course, and what was the next step, for you in your racing, where you were kind of, starting to leave that stuff a little bit behind, and you were getting a little more serious about just buggy racing?
I don't know. We kind of just made the switch to mod and took about, I don't know, maybe a year or two. And then I used to be faster than Broc, believe that or not, but Broc seemed to pass me or excel with the mod vehicles, and then he did pretty good at Surf City, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And that was kind of just like the turning point of, okay, well, we got mod down. At that point, it was pretty much buggy racing. I still did a little bit of short course. Yeah.
I know a lot of the racing I did when I was younger, I had my friends that I raced with, Brett and Brad Relfs. They moved around a little bit, but when they moved to Florida, they were brothers, and they were always brothers, but I raced with them a lot, and Brett was a little older than Brad. But what was interesting is it reminds me a little bit of you and Broc in a sense, where there is a little bit difference in age, but what I noticed about them is they were both very good drivers. But what was a little bit unique is it seemed like when I raced with them, one would be fast for a little while, and then it would flip to the other guy, and then he would be fast for a little while. Like he would be the one winning or, doing well.
Yeah.
Then it would flip back to the other one. And it's like it was a little rare with them that they would be both running their best at any given race. It always seemed like one was up. It always seemed like one was up, one was down, and then it would flip flop. And so me kind of being friends with them, and I'd go stay at their house. We'd go practice. It was kind of interesting, kind of just watching them, with their racing, that how it was like that. One track would suit one guy. One track would suit one guy, or his equipment would be good or better on that situation, or he was just a better driver on that surface or that. So, and then it would just, and there was like really no predicting it. you could never really predict, who was going to be the better guy, but like on that given time. So it's like it almost felt like you were always racing two people, or you're racing the same guy duplicated. I don't know
Right.
what I'm trying to say, but it's like
Yeah.
I was a racer, and it's like, it's not like you're racing one-on-one. It feels like you're racing like two guys with the same name. It was kind of weird to explain, but it's almost like, you always felt like, well, this day I beat one, but I couldn't beat the other one. Then the next time it's like, well, I beat the one, but I didn't beat the other. So it's like, finally you could beat both on the same day. It's like, man, what a hurdle,
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes I see a little bit of that when you guys are racing, because it seems like that's the way racing does work, is sometimes one guy's up and one guy's down, but it seemed like both of you guys were really, fast forwarding a little bit, but it seems like you guys were both really clicking at the IOCC race.
Right. And we see that happens pretty often. We'll pass each other up, but it's mostly just, if one is going slower than the other, we try to pick them up or work on their car setup. So, like at IOCC, I think Mikau was the top seed, and then it was me. No?
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. And then, but to start off the day, Broc had some issues in practice, and he wasn't quite up to speed. So we kind of just worked on building him up, and then you see what happens. He goes out and obliviates us. But, yeah, I mean, we just work together, and I think that's part of it too.
And I mean, not to totally harp on this brother thing, but, like these guys that I raced with, it was interesting because I'd always find it interesting because when they were racing each other, it was, pretty intense battle when they would race each other. And they were very separate in their racing unless one was done, they're eliminated or they were in a lower main and they were done for the weekend. But then the other one would jump over and help the other guy try to do as best as he can. Tons of support, but it was only after he was eliminated. So it was like, you know what I mean? It was interesting to watch because it was like the ultimate like competition. Like, all right, I'm going to race as long as I can race and see if I can beat everybody. But then once, if one guy's eliminated, he's like, all right, I'm jumping on my brother and now we're going to get this done. It's like, all right, whatever we got to do to help him. And, so that was definitely a really cool, thing that I noticed about racing with them. That was, it was just unique. And I can see that a little bit with you guys where, you have to maintain two separate race programs. You're racing yours, he's racing his, and there's got to be some common ground there. Somebody's got to lose, right?
Right.
So going into your, what's coming up for you guys? What are you concentrating on? And I've had some people ask me questions kind of separately, but they asked me a little bit how you guys, what's your practice routine and what do you do to get better, just in general?
I think our next races are obviously Reedy race. Broc's in the invite class and coming back in open for second year, so that'll be fun. And then we have the Carpet Off-Road Championships at 702 in March. Not really a whole lot planned out. We might hit more than that, but some of it's on the fly sometimes.
Kind of depends on your school schedules and that type of thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I go to college full time, so usually I can't go to the races where you have to leave like early in the week. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So in terms of your practice schedule, what do you guys like to do there to kind of stay sharp?
We'll usually go out and turn some laps at 702. Thursdays and Sundays, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll club race Sundays. It's heads up racing, so the qualifiers are all heads up, and then the mains are too. So
Oh, okay. I didn't know
that
that.
kind of helps. Yeah, that kind of helps practice for when you're racing main events and you're lining up with guys, and yeah. So
how do they do the gridding of? Was it rotate, or how do they decide where you're gridded every qualifier, or you know what I mean?
It's random the first qualifier, and then it's reverse finishing order the second qualifier. So if you're the fastest guy, there's a chance you could start in the back twice.
Right.
Which kind of is, yeah, which, I don't know, could be good and could be bad. Good for practicing. It's kind of unique.
And I'm sure there's always that moment where you're like, man, do I ever get to start up front?
Right.
I guess in the main, that's your opportunity to start up front, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, and this is over at 702, and earlier you talked about how that's restarted, but it was the first location with dirt. Then they progressed, new ownership, carpet, but now you're at a new location, even larger track. Explain what's kind of good about the new location and what you guys learned by being able to consistently practice, I guess.
Right. So the track's pretty large, and we run on black CRC carpet. So we get a lot of quality, what you call it, test time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of helped us progress. They switched right before summer, so we got a lot of practice in at that track over the summer. And yeah, I think the carpet switch has definitely benefited our driving. Just made us more precise. So,
I'm
and the
almost
new
kind of
location's pretty awesome. Like it's
I mean,
out
I've
by
always
the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
okay.
Yeah.
Like what I kind of would have thought is, with all the running that you guys do on carpet, I'm always kind of amazed that when you get to dirt, you're not like just complaining about the car having no traction.
Right.
I feel like it's got to be a tough switch running that much on carpet and then going to dirt. But I feel like you guys do a good job with that in general, because that is a tough transition. I mean, we call them both off-road. They're both kind of the same cars, but really they're not really much alike.
Yeah. No, like whenever we hop over to the dirt side of things, we have our own equipment for dirt specifically, and the same thing for carpet. We have our own equipment, so it's two different worlds. It's definitely hard to switch back to dirt, just because there's wheel spin and everything. But most of the tracks these days are pretty high grip, so when we get there, we don't feel so out of it. It used to be a lot harder to switch. Usually, it's like first day when the track's fresh, that's the hardest day. And then it gets pretty easy by main day.
Yeah, you're kind of adapting, and now that you've probably went through, you spent so much time being younger, doing the transition, and then now you're kind of a little more accustomed to what to expect when you show up, right?
Right. Yeah.
So what, kind of going into, we talked about a little bit next year already, but is there any events that you have not been to that you really are kind of looking forward to getting to, or what What are you looking to accomplish next or this coming year?
I don't know. The first things first, I would like to go to CRC. CRCRC? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun. Going to trackside. That's later in the year, though. Yeah, just a couple more races than that I didn't get to do last year that Brock got to do. So they all seem pretty fun. The INS final looked pretty fun. Beach RC.
So, do you have any like tracks that you've seen in videos or races that you've seen that are just like, everyone tells me they got these bucket list races, right? Do you have any that you see that you're just like, I'm definitely going here sometime?
I mean, Beach RC, that track looked amazing. April Fools up in Intermountain, or not Intermountain, Northern Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, trackside. Heard nothing but good from that place.
So kind of jump around here a little bit, but you mentioned you're going to school. You got a pretty busy schedule there in college. Tell us what you're doing in college. What are you going for? What are you trying to specialize in, and what's going on the school front?
I'm just trying to earn my degree, I guess. I'm going for mechanical engineering. So I'm hoping to stay in the industry and, maybe further the industry a little bit more in the future.
So what year are you in right now of college?
I've been going for a couple of years now. I actually went in high school, but this is year one at UNLV in Las Vegas. So, yeah.
And I
already have. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're being a little bit. I don't know what the right word is, but I'm not really sure what the right word is. But yeah, but you're kind of known to be a smart kid. Yeah, you've gotten the tremendous grades. You've mentioned you've already taken a lot of college courses in high school, right? So you've kind of built up some credits. That's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I already got my associates, actually. Pretty awesome. Yeah. So quite a few credits built up.
Being kind of humble, I guess you could say. But we got a smart guy here, Gotti.
I was going to say, yeah, he's the exact opposite of me. Good Lord, college. I wasn't even thinking that.
Let's get into your questions here, Gotti. Does he play? You can ask him the video games, and does he play any video games?
That is a good question. Are you playing video games?
No, not currently. I used to play a little bit of 2K, but
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have a system right now? You don't have a PS4 or anything?
No, I got a PS4. I just don't play it. That's usually Brock's territory. I leave that to him.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get Brock on. Okay. Thanks for joining us, Blake.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thought maybe you were playing Fortnite, Red Dead. Probably Brock's probably playing Fortnite.
Brock is playing Fortnite. Yeah. Not currently, but usually is.
It's popular. I don't even know what it's about.
It's about a whole bunch of stuff.
Here's a question from listener Kevin King. He's asking you, Blake, when did you realize you wanted to get serious into RC?
I met Cav and Mayfield and all the fast guys and just wanted to be like them. So, that was the drive.
Yeah.
Saw them winning races. And it was a long time ago. It had to be at OCRC. Yeah, probably about 7 years ago. So,
obviously it's different now when you go and talk to those guys. But what was it like when you were a kid to go and try to talk to them? Was it like what was it like for you? Was it nerve-wracking?
Of course. Yeah, definitely nerve-wracking. You don't want to slip up or anything.
Can you sign my shirt, Cav?
I think we actually have a body from Mayfield that we got signed a long time ago. But yeah, I mean, those guys just know a lot about RC cars. So whenever you talk to them, it's like, talking to a wizard.
It's like, all right, I got my questions written down. I'm going to go over to them and repeat my question. Then you get there and you're like, what was my question again?
Right.
I remember for me in my day, it was going to talk to Brian Kinwald and Mark Pavitas, and Cliff Lett. Those were the guys like that. You're like, oh man, I want to go talk to them, but I don't want to I don't want to bother them.
I never had that problem when I went and talked to Joel.
Really?
Yeah, I just bugged the hell out of him.
Have you? How far along were you in like qualifiers, or were you ever in any qualifiers with them when you started there at like Surf City or something like that?
I'm sure I was in a qualifier somewhere in the way. I mean, we raced stocks, or it was probably in practice, but they'd roll up on you in practice, and you just give way and watch them go on by.
You're like, I'm right here. I'm going to stick to your rear bumper. And then you're like, wait a second, where'd you go?
You want to try to stick to them, but back then it was pretty hard to do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you come a long way. You had a great IOCC, of course. And it's not just that. I mean, you've been making a lot of strides. And, no matter where the race is, you guys have been working hard. And I think, I guess it was over a year ago, we were at Mimi's and for the off-road nationals there, and you guys running on dirt and just working hard, learning things about your tires, and just, it seems like you guys have kind of come a long way with all the prep and getting your cars ready, and it just seems like it's a natural process, but it's something that everybody kind of have to take care of your race program and be prepared, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of small tricks and everything to learn. So definitely focused in on that, and that's helped us out a ton. I would say from the Nationals last year, and the track in, I don't know what state it was in, but since then we've progressed our mechanic skills, and I think that's helped us out a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I think what was been great is people that I think of off the top of my head between, you and your brother and Spencer, who when they'll either ask questions or when they hear people talking about something, they tune right into it to try to see, was this what I was missing? Or,
right,
is this the bit of information that I need to incorporate into what I was doing? And I think that's good. That's a good characteristic to have, because it's hard to know everything or ask all the right questions, but just sort of being aware of the surroundings. And that's what I learned as a young driver is I wasn't the guy that wanted to go approach everybody, but I just kept listening. And you go back and you're like, man, I just picked up on all kinds of stuff. And you go back and you try it for yourself or whatever, and like, man, I picked up on all kinds of stuff today. I think looking back, it's kind of a lot of the fun part about the whole thing.
Right. After all, it is a hobby to most people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
I mean, they just want to know everything, try new things. So, yeah.
Yep, and then
new to learn.
Yeah, I mean, really, really is, and you guys have been doing really well there. And I don't know if you wanted to give a shout out a little bit to some of your sponsors and your parents and stuff, and then we'll try to get Broc on.
Yeah, I just you know, my parents push me and Broc pushes me, so thanks to them. And you, Jason, BT over at Associated, and then all my sponsors. Thank you to Team Associated, Reedy Powered, J Concept, Shell, Sanwa, Sharkbait Designs, One Up Racing, Stick It One Racing, Sticky Kicks RC, Live RC, and 702 RC Raceway. So those are all the people who backed me the most.
And we can, for people that want to stay up with your racing, you have a Facebook page, right, for the team?
Right, yeah. We have a Facebook page for the team called Champlin Race Team, Champlin Race Team. I have a personal page. Broc has a personal page. So you can give those a friend request, give up on everything we're doing.
And then probably, if your bucket list stuff comes through, maybe CRC, but if not, they can see at the Reedy race, right?
Right, exactly.
Good. Well, let's get Broc on. We'll give him the runaround, ask him some questions. We'll get a little input. But do we just want to switch, Gotti? Do we just want to have?
I'll just give him my phone. But
hit me up in a bit.
Hello,
Broc.
What's up?
Hey man, what's going on? Gotti Jr. here with Jason Ruona.
How you doing, Broc?
Doing good as always. Living the dream.
Now, Broc, were you living a dream? Were you playing Fortnite just now?
No, I heard it, but nope. No, I had some stuff to do after school today. I had to stay after for some assignments that I had missed for Top Gun, and then yeah.
So you're on Fortnite a lot though?
Yes, a little too much.
See that, Jason? Season 7's out. Did you get Season 7?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know anything about what's going on with Fortnite. Like, I just hear it. I hear the name. I see the name. People, I'm just like, I don't know what this is about. Then I just get worried that I would like try it and get like so into it that I would just be at home all day.
I don't think you will.
Yeah.
We're too old for a Fortnite.
Yeah, you might be.
We're in our 40s.
Old enough
so
where you don't get. Yeah, you might not get addicted, but someone like me. Oh, my parents, my mom especially. I don't think she minds like me playing it, but for the amount of time that I play it, she doesn't seem too stoked on that.
What other games you have?
I played a Supercross game. I don't know. I don't really. What's that?
You have the Monster Energy game?
Yeah. I kind of quit playing that though because I like Eli Tomac, and for some reason he didn't make it on the game. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of a bummer.
Well, I guess one other question. Fortnite. I don't. You're saying I have trouble building those forts. Like it's a fort. Like I don't understand. What's Fortnite? I don't understand.
It's a shooter game, and you basically drop into a 100-player lobby, and you can build to protect yourself. Well, are you gonna come for our race in March?
Yeah.
You gonna? Okay. You will have to. We'll get you on from Fortnite. All right.
This is awesome. Yeah. You gotta get video for me on this.
All right.
I need some video, and that'd be fantastic.
The only problem is Jason's too mellow. He won't like rage. It's kind of the point of the game.
Yeah, I know. I can't. Yeah, he doesn't get mad.
Yeah, he's just calm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like we were talking about earlier, we kind of went through. We talked with Blake. You guys got into RC. We did some short course stories. You guys got into it with the 4x4 slash. You said, does that sound right for you?
Yep. That's where it started.
So what are some things you remember about getting started? With with those trucks, and kind of some of the memories of when you guys got into it.
I would say the two things that I remember the most. We have a little Honda 50, and my dad made this like rake thingy for the back of it, because at the time I think I overheard Blake saying, how my dad used to ride dirt bikes, and so basically we just took the pit bike, and we had like this empty lot near where we used to live, and we kind of just raked it up, and we built this track, and it was like just a U track, and there was a jump on every lane. It was pretty cool. And my dad had this big old lifted truck, so we would drive it kind of out in the street, and the lot was low enough to where in the back of the truck was like our driver's stand. So we would stand in the back of the truck and kind of just wheel and, just go after each other. And at the time it wasn't serious, so we would just plow into each other. And it was, I think that's where we started to enjoy it. It was just fun. It was a hobby. You get off school, and the first thing you do when you get home is put a battery on charge. And then once you do your homework and you go and check the battery's done, and now you're playing with RC cars till the sun goes down. And then I think, so we did that for a little while, and then we had this park that we lived near too at the time, and there was a big parking lot that no one ever used. And my dad was actually he went and got us cones, and we set cones up in the parking lot, and we would go out there and practice cornering and, just figure eights and just learning to drive,
Coincidentally, that's how Mayfield's dad,
really?
That's what he did to him too. He used paper plates, he said, but he was doing figure eights, and when he told him when he finally didn't hit the paper plates and crash all over, then he would take him to the track. So that's pretty fun. You guys had,
yeah. Once we learned how to, actually drive an RC car and not be a complete squid, or, not as good, we got a little better. And then, at the time we lived in St. George, so we would just drive down. I think the first time we just went down here on a Sunday, and we raced novice, and the first day we pretty much just didn't make it a race. And the owner at the time was like, "You guys are out of this class." The first time we went there, they were like, "You're out of novice." So
that's good.
Yeah.
It sounds like I'm just making this up, but coincidentally, that happened to me the first time I raced. That kicked me out of novice too.
Yeah.
But what I found, and this is probably the same for you guys, is you had already done practicing, whether it was in your yard or in the, around the cones. You kind of had some of the fundamentals down, so it looks like you're not a novice, but you still really are. But you have you kind of have it down already, right?
Yeah, you have driving experience, just not racing experience.
Yeah, and that's a pretty critical thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you kept moving along. He was telling us you guys were really short course racers, but then you started getting into some buggy stuff.
Yep. I think so. We drove slashes for a little while, and then my dad had some friends who actually owned a nitro track. I don't remember the name of it. It was in Phoenix, Arizona. The Lopez was the last name. They owned a track out there, and that's where Kinwald actually used to run nitro. And so we went out there, and one of my dad's friends helped him put together an SC10. And actually, we met Kinwald before. At the time, I didn't realize who Kinwald was. I wasn't serious. I was like, oh, that's just another guy, and
Just a little short dude.
yeah, and just running some nitro cars, just beating up on everybody, just a good RC racer, And we anyways, my dad got his short course built, and we just drove around the 8 scale track. They had like a 10 scale class for 4-wheel drive short courses, and we had fun doing that. And then so once my dad got his short course, Kyle Johnson is a local here in Vegas. He drove, and my dad chased him and Steve Anthill down. They were the two guys to beat here in Vegas, and Damon Barron as well. And once my dad started getting a lot more competitive, and my dad was a lot better than us for a very long time. And then it was terrible, dude. We would race him, and like when you're younger, you're a lot more emotional, dude. We would getting beat by your dad, like, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then so we got some SC10s built, and then we moved the electronics from our slashers into those, because at the time we weren't serious. We didn't know like this kind of stuff made differences. And so we kind of did that for a little while, and then I remember that one year at Christmas, Blake had a B42 World's Edition car wrapped up in a box, and he opened up the box and he's like, "What's in here?" And then opens up the next box and it's in there. Well, my parents decided they wanted to trick me, and so they wrapped up a big old chip box, like a Lay's chip, where you buy like the special pack where you buy like 5 of like 5 different pairs of chips, or different types.
Right.
And I opened up this, and they're like, "This is what you get. He gets a car, you get this." And I lost my mind. Couldn't believe it. And then they were like,
"You're like, what?"
Just kidding. Yeah. And they were like, "Just kidding," And they ended up getting us cars, and then we didn't build them for a little while. Then we finally got them built up, and I think we had them for like a month or 2, and then we went to the Stock Nationals. That's where it started, really, was the Stock Nationals.
Blake was saying that he said, you mentioned your dad was better first, but then he said that he was taking it to you at first, and then you came on a little later and then started beating him, and he said, so it's been like a weird back and forth.
Yeah. So up until probably about 4 years ago, when I really started, because he was older, he was a lot more mature, he took it a lot more serious, quicker than I did. And a couple of years ago, I was pretty tired of getting beat. I got beat at every race we went to, and then I got over it. I was like, it's time to get to work. And then I started chasing him down. And then we had a couple people that used to race with us, like James Roscoe and Mikey Bustamante, and so we started chasing them down. I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure and
Yep.
So we drove with them, and then I don't know. It's kind of like a step, like once you beat this person, then it's onto this person, and that's kind of how it was. And then I started beating Blake, and I beat him pretty bad for the last couple of years. And then I would say probably a couple of months into this year, out of nowhere, he just turned it on. I think he got tired of getting beat, and put in a lot of time this summer. We both did, and the time was extremely valuable for him. And then, we had our big race a couple months ago, and he made me look like a joke. And, I'm not proud of saying that, but he did. He straight up beat me, TQ'd. I didn't have the best of luck. It was a pretty terrible weekend. But I mean, he's still in the main event. He broke in one of the main events, and he had like a ball cup pop off. He had a pretty terrible wreck through this like rumble strips that we had out there, and he got his car fixed and probably was like he was about to get lapped, and he came back and finished like a 10th or two, and we were battling by the end of it. And I was like,
so let me get this straight. You popped off a ball cup, fixed it, and then came back and made it a contest.
Almost
right?
beat me. Yeah. And then in one of the mains, I think before IOCC was when I put in the amount of motor that this goon is running. I think one of the big things he did was he put in a lot of motor, and I remember because we took it to A3 because he obliterated us in the first main. Then the second main, I beat him by just a few tenths, and then in the third main, I got around him, passed him, come down the straightaway, just got absolutely blown past. And then so he made a little bobble. I got by him again, and I had a couple seconds, and then with like 2 laps to go, he passed me on the straightaway for the second time. But yeah, I mean, you saw, we both did really, really good at IOCC, but I mean, you noticed, I remember in the interview that we did there, I mean, you noticed like how he kind of just has turned it on out of nowhere these last couple months, and been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what I talked to him about, this is going to be repeating a little bit for people listening, but I just briefly said that I had some friends when I was coming up, when I was 16, 17, they were brothers and they were racing, and I was just kind of making some comparisons to what I noticed when I raced with them versus watching you guys race. And it's kind of funny how, you're super competitive with one another, but if one's eliminated from the race or you lose early, you'll jump in and help the other one try to win, right?
Yeah, definitely. We work as a team, and I think me and my dad were talking earlier today, it's not very often do you find 2 brothers that will actually work together and want one another to win, and
yeah,
it's pretty cool that, we always like, if I'm racing him and it's us 2 battling out, of course I don't want him to win at that. I hope he doesn't win. But if it's like the Reedy race this year, when I was in invite and he was in open, he was cheering me on in invite, and then in open he was like I was cheering him on. And so it's pretty cool that we can actually work together and get stuff done doing so.
Yeah, you can accomplish a lot, and then you throw your dad in there, who you said, was much better when you guys started, and he's still doing really well with his driving, right?
Yeah, he I mean, he's TQ'd Surf City short course race before. He's had his moments too, a couple years ago, but yeah, he's definitely, for an older guy. He turned 50 on, let's see, so it's the 13th, so he turned 50 on the 6th of this month. So, I mean, he's still got it too. He's not terrible.
No, he's doing really well. We talked a couple shows ago. I raced him a little bit at IOCC, and we had a couple good races in one of the last mains of our over 40 class, and so it was fun. Yeah, I mean, he was doing extremely well. It was tough for me to compete with him at first. I got a little bit better, and we were getting fairly close towards the end of the weekend, and of course Brent had already won it, but we were in there. We were doing some battle, and he was driving well. I'm sure there's times where you guys can't mess up too much at a race, and he'll be right there with you.
Yeah, there's actually a pretty funny moment. So back when they did the B64 testing at 702, and I remember when Cody, Brent, no, I don't think Brent was there. Anyways, Cliff Lett was there, and the first time my dad ever beat me on carpet was when I first met Cliff Lett, first ever got to see me drive in person. You know, like it was. I don't know. It sucked.
And Cliff was like, Brent, do we have the dad on the team too, or?
Yeah.
It's the kids we're sponsoring, or is it the dad? Which one are we sponsoring?
Yeah, which one? But yeah.
So moving on. You guys obviously doing a lot of work. You mentioned had a big summer practicing. You went through the IOCC, went well. You know, you had I believe you TQ'd all 4 rounds of qualifying, and then won the first and the third main. Second main didn't go perfect, but you got it together, and then you actually had a great race with Blake in the last main, right?
Yeah, what a way, like, what, I think it's kind of weird, or like, it's cool, but like, I won the first main, obviously, and then in the second main, things didn't go how I wanted, and he won, and then the third main got around me, Cal, with a mistake, and then for like 4 minutes, we were separated by a second. So, but it's cool to be able to race each other on that kind of a scale for a win.
What does it feel like when you're racing? I mean, I know it from my own experience racing. People being close on the track, but is there a difference when you're racing that close with your brother versus, say, it's Spencer or somebody else close to you? Does it seem any different, or is it just another guy that you're racing that you got to stay ahead of?
I don't. It doesn't. When we hit the track, it's kind of all for themselves, I don't know how to explain that one, but I mean, it feels like the same, I don't think about it. Yeah, I don't know, but I race him the same as I would race, Spencer, Mayfield, or Cav. I like to drive extremely close to people and put a lot of pressure on people, and I think that's where Blake has gotten better as well. And I think that's where I've gotten better, is I've kind of taught him how I like to race, and he's kind of raced me in that fashion. And it's good to be able to, we're two opposite drivers. Like you can tell by watching us, especially in person. It's like I want to kill the track when I drive, and he's just super fluent. So it's cool being able to race with a completely different driving style and learn how other drivers actually like to race.
Yeah, you were killing that section in front of the driver's stand at IOCC. I thought you were gonna tear down that one jumping into it so hard.
I did in 4-wheel. I got it in 4-wheel.
Yeah, you broke it once, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm an aggressive driver. I don't like to wait. But yeah, I was pretty. I remember the first day of practice. Brent was under me while I was going through one of the sections, and I came through there, and I was like full bore George. He's like, "Whoa, just go a little slower through here, and you might get a 14." And I come around the next lap, I go through there just right, 14, just like that. I was like, well. So.
But yeah, couple questions. One question we'll kind of get back. Guy kind of came in. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but have you ever used foam tires on carpet on your off-road car?
I haven't, no, but now that I have some experience with on-road and watching the pan cars and stuff, I don't think you could keep a pair of tires on your off-road car. Like, these guys are truing tires every run. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like that'd be kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I think they're extremely lightweight, and I'm sure the grip is obviously good, but there's a couple tracks on the east where they actually run foams on the off-road cars. I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, that was just a question somebody had asked if you had experienced that. And
No.
another question was, we were talking to Blake about different events, different stuff that you have been to or haven't been to. Is there any races that you kind of want to get to this year that you keep seeing online or something, and you're like, man, I got to get to that race?
Well, EOS for sure. I think I would like to go and duke it out in Europe on the carpet now and see how I stand. You know, obviously it's completely different tires. You know, they use, I believe Mikal was telling me they use like a thicker carpet so that it's a lot more grip. I would like to go to some EOS races. I don't know. I did a lot of races this year, and there's a few that I really enjoyed. You know, I would like. I don't know. I want to get into the nitro scene.
Okay.
I think that's my next goal. I think I've been told a couple times that the way I drive and how I like to drive would suit a nitro car better than a 10-scale car. So I would like to experiment with that. CRCRC is earlier, or right around the corner now. I want to do the JC race at Tacoma. That'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't. There's a few races I'd actually have to, but there's some nitro races. The Dirt Nitro Challenge seems pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some 8-scale for sure.
So do you have, we had one specific question asking, you mentioned the EOS. Do you have plans to go in the coming year, or are you just still listening?
No, I haven't made any plans to go, but I'd be down as soon as someone asks. As soon as I would go in a heartbeat. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
And so, backtracking here just a little bit, you did some dirt races this year. We talked to Blake about some of them that he did, and then you were able to go to a couple. You went over to trackside. I know I was talking to Blake before you went and afterwards during the race, how things were going. And he was real anxious to see how you would do there. And you had a pretty good race there at trackside. What was that experience like going there?
It was a lot of fun, actually. That facility is one of the nicest I've been to. A lot of pitting. The dirt was phenomenal. My car was good from the start. In fact, I made changes, and I ended up back on the setups that I came there with. And tires this year have been completely insane, but they didn't seem too bad there. It didn't seem like I was fighting like I did like at Top Gun this year or, other races. But I don't know. It was just that it was a fun race. Obviously I did really well, but yeah, that's definitely a race I want to do next year again because it was one of the better races this year.
And then, and you took the win there. I believe it was in mod truck. Mm-hmm. And then you placed really well in, I believe it was 2-wheel. What was the actual race experience? How'd you end up doing there?
I think so. I won truck, got second in two wheel, got third in four wheel, and I don't know. It was everything about it was fun. You know, Scotty was announcing for a lot of it, and it's always nice to have someone like him announcing. And every qualifier was super tight. It was never, when I was there, it was never a one-man show. Obviously taller TQ'd in one four-wheel and two-wheel, but he never just got out front and had massive leads. Every single race was down to a tenth or two. It wasn't, so the racing was super tight, and it was, I mean, I like that kind of racing. I like it, you know, to be tough. I want it to be challenging. It's how you get better.
And, you know, we did talk to Blake about, you know, his age. He says he's 19, but I don't think anybody, or we haven't mentioned yet. What's your age?
I'm 16 years old.
Okay. And
yeah.
are you driving real car yet?
Actually, no. I tried to get my license and it didn't work out too well. A lot of what I had learned for getting my license was in Utah, and the Nevada laws, when we moved here during the summer, my birthday was in the summer, and Nevada laws and everything are completely different, and struggled to learn them, and then I never really kind of was enthusiastic, and I've been busy, and I haven't gone back, but I got Blake. He's a chauffeur. I got my parents. You know, I got rides if I need them. So, but I was actually thinking about that today. I want to get my license.
So you got to conquer this test, huh?
Yeah. It's the first time the time that I took the test, I kind of sucked because the last question was a true or false question. And I had to get 40 out of 50. And I literally got, I don't know how, but I got 39 out of 50, and the last one was a true or false, and I got it wrong.
True or false? Damn. I remember
50% chance of getting it.
You know, and I had lost. You know, I remember, going to get my driver's license. I was like, kind of taking forever to actually go get the test, and finally my dad's like, all right, we're going to take the test. I'm tired of driving you around.
Yeah. Did you pass your first time?
I did, yeah. I don't know how.
Nice.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there. Well, I just got to be a little more enthusiastic to get it.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm pretty caught up in racing RC cars.
Yeah, you're caught up in it. You got to drive that real car around a little bit.
Hop on the Ford Raptor. Get a Ford Raptor.
Pass the driving test.
Yep, just pass. You gotta do that.
So what's next? What's next on the list? You just did Top Gun. Tell us a little bit about how Top Gun went. What's it like? You guys go to SDRC quite a bit. What's that track like for people that don't have all these tracks around them or never get to see it?
It's a beautiful facility. Travis Broc is the owner of it, and I think you guys have had an interview with him, I believe. But he does a really good job on running the place. You know, everything. The hobby shop is amazing. They have everything you need, and the track layout at Top Gun was pretty sweet. It was a fun race. I didn't do how I wanted to. I got pretty sick at the event, and by the time main day came, I was pretty miserable. But you know, I ended up getting third in two wheel and some really rough 10-minute main and four wheel. I got like sixth, I believe, but I had a fighting chance. I think I got aggressive too early. I was battling with Mayo, and I just tried to put a pass too early and it got me in trouble. And then I worked my way up, got back up to second, and then I crashed. And then I laid on my lid for a little while. I was unseen because I crashed on the infield, kind of just spiraled downhill. But two-wheel drive, I mean, Cav had like a gap between me and him, and then Mayo was on it. And he kind of just, he reeled me in, got around me, and then reeled in Cav and stayed behind Cav. And then they both made little bobbles. I think Cav got the best. Mayo got the worst of it. But I had a fighting chance, and then I also had crashed. So, but I mean, it was fun. You know, there was an insane amount of grip, and we were gluing sidewalls. We had a lot of grip. So it was a fun race, though.
Yeah, it's like almost a lot of like the little carpet tricks. You're sometimes people are using those on dirt now, and then vice versa, right?
Yeah. Yeah, gluing sidewalls is starting to. I think the first race I ever glued sidewalls was this year at Hobby Action for the J Concept Series. I think we glued them on four-wheel drive because there was a giant sweeper at the end of the straightaway, and we were like flipping off the track because everyone had so much grip. I mean, everyone was starting to glue sidewalls. So I think that was kind of like the start of the dirt sidewall gluing. And I kind of have learned to just, when I go to dirt, I mean, even at trackside, when I first got there, it had quite a bit of grip, and it got to a lot of grip. But, I mean, even when it was lower, like, gluing sidewalls was almost like it felt like I had more traction because the front had less traction, if you know. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure you could relate, you know, too much front grip can whip around the rear end. But yeah, carpet tricks are somewhat worthy on the dirt.
Yeah, it's interesting how they can kind of intertwine a little bit. You learn something on one and you carry a little bit of it over. I know you and Blake are always trying a lot of stuff and trying to make some of these things work, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So moving forward, what are we going to see from you guys next year? What are you looking forward to, and what are some of your goals for next year?
I don't know. I think a lot of people kind of get from me the sense that I just, like, I go to these races just to win, you know. I just want to win everywhere I go. And so every ounce of practice, you know, that I get, it's always just bettering myself for the next race. And I think, you know, hopefully, as everyone hopes, you know, to have a good year. I'm looking forward to the Reedy race. I'm pretty confident in my dirt cars right now, my dirt setups. And so I'm looking forward. I'm hoping to go to the Worlds this year. Yeah. Fun stuff.
Broc, we had a couple questions for just a couple here. That between you and your brother, do you guys keep score on who's winning?
I saw that on Discord.
Oh, you're on our Discord server?
I joined in. It was Aiden, I believe, who commented that.
We just
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
See that, Jason? You gotta get on our Discord server.
Yeah, yep. You gotta get on.
I gotta get on there right now.
I was trying to find. Yeah. Hop on.
Just started it up today. I want to see how it goes. So I think it's a good idea.
Pretty cool. I think. I don't know. We keep score, but I don't know if it's. We kind of just rub it in almost. I think, like, it's like tag. It's like someone beats. If I beat him at a race, you know, then like I'm it. I'm the person to beat at the next one. So like he beat me at our race, and then I beat him at IOCC, and then our race. We have a Toys for Tots race this weekend. So we'll be at the track tomorrow practicing, and then Saturday's the race. So now it's like I'm in it. Now he's got to come and tag me. And as soon as he tags me, then I got to, it's a game of tag. Because I can tell you one thing, it's a lot harder to lose to your brother than anybody else.
I bet.
Yeah.
All right, Pete asked, do you coordinate your sponsorship planning?
Coordinate my sponsorship planning? I'm a little confused by that question.
I think what he's saying is that will and do you guys kind of stay with the same sponsors? So like, you know what I mean? Like, would it be possible or impossible? Like one guy would race for TLR, and then you would say, no, I'm racing for Associated, and
yeah,
right?
I think, yeah, I don't think that would work out too well. We help each other too much to, bounce that up off of each other too much to run for other people. I think that would hurt us in a way, I think as long as we're both in it and into it, I think we'll be running for the same companies, especially like tires and chassis sponsors.
Right.
There you go. Coordinated.
Yep.
Ben Howard from Australia, Jason.
Okay.
What was Champlin's most intense race? And can you describe it?
The Reedy race. Not this year, but the previous year when I had won 4-wheel drive. That last main, even though I had a lead, it was. I feel like it's a lot harder to be like leading a race and being out front and like having this like you're always like no matter who you are, no matter what you are, you're always thinking like what could possibly go wrong. At the Reedy race in 4-wheel drive, the second main event, I had like an 8-second lead, and there was like that. There's no way I can blow it on us. Like there's no way I can blow it. Like just like nothing fail. It's 10-minute mains, 4-wheel drive. Please just stay charged. But IOCC was Blake in the last one. We battle like that. Like a lot of people don't see it, but besides like our locals at our track, we battle like this practically every time we're at the track. Like, but a lot even closer. We'll be in a 5-minute main event, and we'll be half a second, like just nose to tail the entire race. So I think IOCC though is on a bigger scale, so it felt more important in a way. And we were. Even people at IOCC thought we were really close, but yeah, that was pretty intense. For 4 minutes with your brother within a second behind you is quite nerve-wracking.
Well, give a shout out to your sponsors. I know we just went over that with Blake, but I think it's only fair to do the same. Let you give a shout out to your sponsors and your parents, people that help you, and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, shout out to my whole family.
Early in the morning, temperatures mild, starting out the day in the mid to low 60s. Now, very quickly, we are going to be warming up with strong winds.
What's going on?
Is that on Jason's end there?
Yeah, I just turned on the TV.
Oh, okay.
Jason's watching that Hot Weather Girl on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
He's never seen that before.
Shout out to everybody in my family. My parents. They do more than most parents do for their children. For me and Blake and my sister. It's pretty rad to have 2 people like that, and then my brother, my sister, And then, obviously thank you, Jason, Brent, everybody, all my sponsors, Dwayne Batty or Batty, or I don't know, you could say it about 100 different ways. And Patricia over at 702 RC Raceway. They're the reason Blake and my dad can run, And thank you to my sponsors, Team Associated, WD Power, J Concept, Shell, Sandlaw, Shark Bait Designs, One Up Racing, Stick It One Racing, Sticky Kicks RC, Live RC, and 702 RC Raceway. A lot of people don't see what goes on for top drivers when you're off the track, and behind the scenes work and the amount of work that actually goes into being at a top tier level. Without people like sponsors, without people like you, Jason, Brent, and my parents, it's not possible. So thank you. Shout out to all you guys.
Well, definitely appreciate it. Enjoy watching you guys race every time we can, and look forward to seeing you guys early in the year, whether, wherever that first race is, maybe Reedy race, and definitely looking forward to it. And, congrats on all you guys' success.
Thank you.
And, say hi to your parents and your sister, and we'll see you guys soon.
Okay, sweet. Nice to meet you, Gotti. Nice to meet you. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
All right, Brock, well, best of luck in racing, and go out there and kick some ass.
Sweet. Thank you.
Awesome. Broc and Blake Champlin.
Doing well. Got the racing game going, challenging the best guys out there, and that's how it goes. That's what it's all about. Now we got the Lakers starting, playing against the Houston Rockets in Houston.
Oh, boy, that's not going to go well.
You'll have to. LeBron first possession, gets in the paint, fadeaway jump shot, all net.
All right, Facebook.com/Radio Impound. You probably already like the page, but tell your friends about it. Spread the word.
Yeah, keep pumping those likes up.
Yeah.
As long as we're more than Ron Artest's page.
My God, I haven't checked that in a few years. Let's check it out.
What was it called again? Productions or producing?
Artest Media something.
I know that was always our goal to have more likes.
I just couldn't understand how he did not have more likes than us when. Oh my God, dude! I think the last time I checked this was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know. It's got to have more than us. Jeez. Oh my God, we're killing them, dude. We're killing Artest Media Group, which is run by Ron Artest. Some of you people may know him as World Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Meta
World Peace.
Meta World Peace. And he changed his name as soon as I got an Artest jersey. It's like, damn. You want to know how many likes he has? 740 people like his page.
Oh yeah, he's.
Yeah, we're blowing him out of the water.
I want to say that he was like 500 to 700 back when we were checking it before. So.
Yeah.
It's not growing.
Interesting.
It doesn't seem to be growing quite as much.
It's funny. I forgot all about that until you mentioned it. Spread the word. Get us some likes. Patreon.com/Radio Impound. Giving away some prizes. I see Chili Duncan got his prize for guessing the world's winner. Tim Merzine got his prizes.
Okay, good.
Did he post the pictures of? Actually, I'm not sure if he got his yet or not, but should be there any day.
Yeah, we got a couple that I still need to ship out with the wings.
And then over the weekend, we gave away. Jason had Ryan Cavalieri and Spencer Rivkin signed some wings for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave them away to patrons of the show over at patreon.com/radioimpound. We had a 30-man Royal Rumble on WWE 2K19 for the PlayStation 4. I streamed it. It's up on our Facebook page. It's on our YouTube page. And those winners were, offhand, I forget. But I have the results up on the page there.
Yeah, I got a couple things you still need to do in terms of shipping out some of those prizes.
Huh. And those winners were Aaron Mosler and Eric Vogel.
Oh, that's right.
So they won themselves a Spencer Rifkin and Ryan Cavallari wing. I think Aaron took the Ryan wing and Eric took the Spencer. So patreon.com/radioimpound, then jconcepts.net for all your tires and accessories.
Meat.
The best in the land. Head on over to our Discord server that I just started today, and we already have listeners dropping in there. It's a free app. You go on Google Play Store or the Apple Store, download Discord, and just go in there, search Radio Impound. I also have the link on our Facebook page. You can just click on that if you want. And we have listeners in there already. They were giving us questions through there tonight. And we'll try and grow that. It's a big chat room for all our listeners. So all the listeners can get in there and discuss episodes and discuss RC or whatever you want. So it's a pretty cool way to interact with all the listeners. And
you can go in there and put age, sex, location.
Yeah, ASL. That's a good idea. I'm gonna put that in there. I forgot all about that. So it was the old chat room days, right?
The old AOL.
Yeah.
Whoa. You ever had Honey Nut Cheerios? Pretty good. Guess who's on the cover of the Cheerios box?
Let me tell you the cereal that I'm having right now. It's Raisin Bran with bananas.
You say you cut your own bananas?
No, they came out with their own, dried bananas in there, and it is, let me tell you, it's fantastic. It's brand new.
Might be worth a shot, huh?
Dude, you'll love it. Trust me. Get yourself some almond milk.
Yeah, I got that.
All right, there you go. You'll think.
I remember the old Raisin Bran commercials. I don't really see any commercials anymore. When you watch, I watch basketball, and then we watch either Netflix or whatever. So it's like when I see commercials on TV, it seems like they're just all I see are the ones during basketball, really.
Interesting. So anyway, I will post a picture of the Raisin Bran box. I will post a picture of the Raisin Bran box in our Discord server. Okay. So go on in there. Chat with us, people. Server's up 24/7.
Server. Sounds official.
It does. It sounds important.
It does. We now have a server to chat on.
Head over to carpies.com to get our t-shirts, hats. He's redesigning the website, so our right now, I'm not sure right now if you go in there you'll find it, but it should be up any day. And you can go in there and get a rip shirt. When you go to these races, you could represent. Go to Stick It One Racing, boomrc.net. Carpies even has our logo for decals.
Oh, wow.
You can do decals at boomrc.net, Stick It One. All right, thanks for our guests for being on the show tonight, and follow those guys at Champlin. Their Facebook page was Champlin Racing, was it?
Race Team, I think.
Yeah.
Champlin Race Team.
So follow those guys there, and tell them Radio Impound Podcast sent you.
Perfect. I gotta see Jazzy.
She's getting food.
Come get your crunchies, girl.
Did you just pour that in a bowl and throw it down at her?
No, I just.
Oh, that sounded like you were just like threw it right down. It was great. It was great. Allison must not be home. Here, dog. Here's your food.